Hello there, and good evening. It's been a really tough struggle for the past about 30 to 40 minutes. I've been struggling to get this Facebook Live to work. I'm not too sure what happened. My screen was just dark, and but thank God it's finally come on. Thank you. There's one person who's joined so far. Thank you for joining. If you just want to type in the chat box, and say hello, I want to know who it is. Thanks for joining this late. I thought, I've intended to do this, I've planned to do this, and I need to do this today. Okay, so my name is Pauline Lehman, and for those who will be watching the replay or joining us for the very first time, I'm the founder of Star Richards Community Initiative, a charity with a mission to empower BME children to achieve their potential and achieve massive success in life, because I believe that every child can do well. There's no limitation. Race is not a limitation. Postcode is not a limitation. Social class is not a limitation. Every child is loaded with potential to excel and do well, not just in school, but in life in general. So that is why I'm very passionate about, what I do, empowering parents so that they can support their children to maximize their potential in school and in life. So today we're going to be talking about a very, very sensitive topic. Important, I think it is. Should I stretch my child? I've heard a lot of people say, I don't stretch my child, I don't push my child. And some people have wondered, am I not pushing my child, and that kind of thing. Some people are not really sure about what they should be doing, and parents have come to me talking about, complaining about the fact that the school says they're going to refer them to social services because they're pushing their child too hard at home. So they're getting their children to do a lot of schoolwork, and so a lot of people actually have got into trouble for, I've been referred to social services, if I may say, for stretching or pushing their children academically. So we're going to be talking about what is pushing. Do we need to push our children, to achieve their potential? So why do we need to push our children, or what is pushing? Now, I will start by saying pushing can be seen in two ways. Okay, I look at pushing as supporting our children or supporting someone to be able to achieve something. Okay, so if you look at it in a negative sense, it's about getting them to do work, or getting them to do a specific thing or a particular thing, intensely. Okay, if I may say. But I'm going to talk about pushing today. We're going to look at pushing in a different way today, and we'll see that pushing it's important for us as parents to push our children. It is your responsibility. You've got the mandate. God has given you the mandate to push your child, to support your child. So I prefer the word support rather than push. But as I say, I prefer support. Others would see it as push. But it's up to you or up to people, whatever they want to consider it to be. So why do we need to push our children? We need to push our children. Thank you for the likes. Thanks, Peace Josephine, for joining, for persevering. You were there from the start when I was struggling. And now, we never give up. So that is it. That's what I tell children. We never give up. We eventually persist, and it happens. And that is what I was determined would happen today. So why do we need to push our children? Okay, it's important to push or to support your child to achieve their potential, because children are loaded. Now, I brought this to demonstrate. I've got here a rubber band. So this rubber band can be stretched, okay? And until you stretch it, if it stays as it is, it's a rubber band, and that is how it stays. But if you exert some energy and stretch it and stretch it and stretch it, you can see how far it stretches. So that is how children are. That is how the human being is designed. It's designed to stretch. The human being has got capacity. Our children have got capacity to grow. There's capacity, there's room for growth, there's room for expansion. And this cannot happen if a person isn't stretched or isn't given the opportunity to stretch themselves. Now, let's look at people who excel in sports or people who excel in arts, in non-academic, endeavors, if I may put it this way. Now, when you take a child, a parent whose child is good at football, okay, they don't just take them there once and the child becomes an expert or becomes a top league player. No. So research shows that for people to excel in sports, they need to put in 20 hours of practice. Now, a lot of parents and society finds it okay to put in 20 hours in sports, to put in 20 hours in arts, drawing, coloring, designing, painting, and other things. But society finds it unacceptable for people to put in extensive hours in the academic work. And that is what I think is not right, because just as much as children or people will do well in developing skills and talents by putting in extensive hours of practice, it works the same for academic work. So the more time a child spends doing schoolwork, the better they'll get at it. And a lot of children are not doing well because that extra support is not there, so they're not achieving their potential. So we need to support our children to be able to achieve their potential, because academic performance or, academic success or success at anything whatsoever in life is 80% strategy, effort, determination, and 20% natural ability. That is it for academic work. So I've been a teacher, and in my teaching career, I've seen children that people would consider to be very, very able, people consider to be very intelligent, not achieving A stars. Why not? If they could achieve it without putting in the effort, because they did not put in the effort. Yes, they could get a B, but they could do better if they put in more time studying, if they put in more time doing their schoolwork. So yes, we need to support our children, call it push, whatever you want to call it, but children need to be supported. No one achieves their potential or achieves success at anything without being pushed, without being stretched. As adults, we know if you're moving up the ladder in your career, it means more responsibility, it means longer hours at work, it means more, extensive time spent developing your knowledge and expertise. It doesn't just happen. Nothing is given on a platter of gold, and that is one thing that children in this generation are going to fall victim of, because it seems to be a generation where people want to get things easily. There is no easy way to success, and by supporting our children, by helping them to work hard, they develop those skills, the hard work skills, the hard work ethics, the resilience, the grit, the diligence that is needed for them to be able to succeed in life, be it in business, be it in their career. So by supporting our children, we are doing them no harm whatsoever. Now, one thing I find very interesting is that the people who complain about education, the educational system putting too much pressure on children, are the people in the lower class of society. When we look at the middle class, the upper class of society, a lot of them send their children to selective schools. A lot of them send their children to private schools where children are stretched, where children are challenged to work hard, to bring the best out of them. They are not complaining. That is why they go out of their way to pay, expensive fees for their children to go to these good schools so that they can bring the best out of their children. They have understood that children have got potential and children need to be stretched. They've understood it because they are people that have worked, that have progressed in their careers, that are successful in businesses. They know that it takes hard work. But people at the bottom of the rung, who are used to getting things free, maybe from the government in this part of the world where we're in, tend to, feel, well, children need to go out and play. Children need to spend more time being children. Yes, children need to go out and play. We need the right balance. And I'm going to talk about that now. So You have to push your child. And I want to encourage you as a parent, do not feel guilty for pushing your child. I've seen parents, I've spoken to parents who feel guilty for pushing the child. Do not feel guilty because your neighbor is telling you they don't push your child. Do not feel guilty because a parent at the school entrance says they don't push the child and the child plays outside all day long. You know what future you want for your child, and you know that you need to support your child to be able to achieve their God-given potential, to be able to get that greatness, that ability, that capacity within them to actually come out. So that is that. So it's not about pushing as much as how you push your child. So I'm going to talk about two types of pushing. So there's negative pushing, which I believe a lot of African parents, have been done for. So it's pushing where we are threatening the child. We're getting them to sit down and do schoolwork only. Okay, all evening, they're not doing a range of activities that they need for their holistic development. So we're threatening them. We are, punishing them for not doing, the right amount of schoolwork or not getting things. We're shouting at them. We are throwing negative words at them, continuously comparing them with other children or other people. We're tending to control them. And when they don't do as we want, or they're not making the right amount of progress or expected progress, we are withdrawing love from them. Now, that is very, very negative. It's a negative way of pushing children. And when that case, if that case is referred to social services, yes, they're going to take it up. Okay? So that negative pushing has detrimental effects on children. It will bring in the stress. It will bring in the anxiety. We hear about a rise in mental health issues amongst, young people. It's going to lead to that. Okay. It's going to stop them from actually enjoying the process. So, academics should be enjoyed. So we want our children to get to the point where they really want to do it. They know why they want to do it. So they're not just doing it because mommy is saying, I need to learn the times table. Mommy is saying, I need to know, I need to know this week, or I need to learn that this week. Why do I need to know this? They need to own it. They need to be able to understand why. And when we help them to understand why they need to have these grades, why they need to work hard, why they need to persist at it, they won't lose interest. A lot of children have lost interest in education because of that maybe negative pushing and other intrinsic and extrinsic factors. So that is negative pushing. Now let's talk about positive pushing. And positive pushing is a sort of pushing that actually yields results. Sort of pushing that when you exert that energy, that positive energy, you actually see your child really wanting to do well and actually working hard and being proud of themselves when they actually do well. So positive pushing is supportive. So you are supporting your child. We're working as a team. In my home, we work as a team. Sometimes I've got 3 children, one of them would help the other one who is struggling with maybe something that I'm not able to support them with, or maybe I'm busy with my youngest daughter and the first would support the second one. So it's a team effort and we work together that way. We know that if one person isn't quite there yet, it's the whole family that is affected. So it's a team effort. We're supportive of each other. If you can't support, put support mechanisms in place to ensure that your child actually, gets the support they need. Because sometimes we're helping children, maybe helping them the wrong way, teaching them the wrong strategies, or we don't have the skills to be able to teach them effectively. We need to get in some experts, some tutors. We need to use the teachers and use other systems to help them. So it's got to be supportive. We've got to be encouraging. Our children need to be encouraged, to help them believe that they can do it. Praising the efforts and small steps. It's not good enough to just praise them when they get the grades. The little steps, they were reading for 5 minutes. They've moved on to 10 minutes. that is worth praising. That is worth encouraging. That is what creates the motivation that children need to continue, towards the goals that you have set for them this year. It's about, ensuring that they're using the right strategies. The strategies they're using, the study skills are correct. So next week, I'm going to do a workshop for children in examination classes. I'm going to tell you more about it. You have children in GCSE classes, year 12, year 13. I will be doing a workshop for them. I'll keep you posted on the Star Readers Community Initiative page. And please sign up your children. Sometimes children are just using the wrong strategies and they need that extra input to help them. It's got to be positive. You've got to be patient with these children. Don't expect your child to learn the very first time you teach, they come across something. So we don't expect them to learn the very first time. So we've got to be patient. Children are different. One of your children might understand quicker than the other. So don't compare them. Don't feel frustrated. Don't throw insults at them. Let's be patient. Let's keep encouraging. Let's keep supporting them. Let's give them time to grow. Sometimes, just like I was using the illustration of the rubber band, okay, if you stretch it, it gets to a certain point, it will actually break. So when you see that your child needs to, is kind of struggling to move on to the next level, stay at that level until they get it and then move on. So give them time to grow. Don't keep pushing. That would bring discouragement if they feel they're struggling, they're not quite getting it. So let's give them time to grow. Let's help them understand that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail. When we fail, we find out what happened and we work on that. We think about what could we do differently to ensure that we make the right progress. So it's being positive pushing is also about helping children to know the big why. Why are we getting them to study? Why are we talking so much about getting these grades? Why do they need these grades? Get them to think about their future. Where do they see themselves in 10, 15 years? What career do they see themselves in? What life do they see themselves living? What house, what home, what car do they see themselves driving? Get them to think about it. I tell you the truth, I work with teenagers and a lot of them, it doesn't come, naturally. Teenagers are not wired to think into the future. So as parents, it's our responsibility to help them to start to think about the future, what career, what home they want to live in, what life they want, for themselves. And let's keep encouraging them. And I want to stress here that it is really key for us to ensure that we are supporting our children's holistic development. So you don't want a child spending all the afternoon after school doing schoolwork. They don't really need to. An hour is fine. An hour and a half in secondary school is fine doing schoolwork. So it means that if a child has 3 to 4 hours before it's bedtime, they actually have enough time to fit in other things. That is where a well-structured home environment becomes really, really crucial. How structured is your home environment? What are the routines you've got in place in your home? When children come back from school, what are the things they do? So we need to include, time for relaxation, just to wind down a bit. We need to include time for them to play. We need to include time for them to do artwork, to learn an instrument. So with a well-structured home environment, you can actually fit in as many things as you want your child to do, okay? When there is no structure, children spend a lot of time on one activity and usually they become unproductive. But with a well-structured home environment with routines, children can fit in a range of activities that they need for their holistic development. I don't think we should be getting them to do schoolwork for 3 hours. They don't really need to do schoolwork for 3 hours. And 30 minutes to an hour is absolutely fine for younger children. For children in years 4, 5, 6, they could spend up to 45 minutes, an hour, getting them to do English, maths, reading, and things like that. Spending 15 minutes on a task is absolutely fine. As long as they're doing it consistently every day, they will make the required progress. I think a lot of us want them to learn so much. I tell you the truth, they don't need to spend that much time to make the right progress, or right amount of progress. I think they need to spend a reasonable amount of time consistently on a daily basis. And you've got a structure, you've got a plan of work you're getting them to follow. And when children have this range of activities they're doing, they don't feel under pressure. Yes, they don't feel as if they spend the whole evening just doing schoolwork. So that is where it really becomes important. And if you're questioned, if social services comes in to question you, I had a parent in December who rang me about social services questioning them regarding pushing their children too hard with schoolwork. And I asked her questions. What other things would your children do, at home? And she told me her children do other things. So I said, then when they come for the next appointment, you go to them, tell them that your children do these other range of activities. That is what they want to see. I believe it's not healthy for children to just spend, every day just doing schoolwork, academic work. They are loaded with potential. Let's help them to develop these talents, this gifting. Let's expose them. Let's get them involved in extracurriculars, in sports, in music, in artwork, which helps develop them holistically, helps them to be well-rounded individuals. That is what we want. That is the outcome we want for our children. That is what will position our children to compete with children from all other backgrounds. Because I tell you, children from middle-class homes, they're doing very well in school. They're getting all the A stars and the A's, but they're doing a wide range of other extracurricular activities that are helping them develop these skills, helping them to be confident and well-rounded individuals. So, I've come to the end. If you've got any questions, if you've got any comments that you want to make, please feel free to do so. I'll encourage you to share this video. It's an issue that is a big issue amongst our community. A lot of parents being put under pressure because they are pushing their children. I want to tell you there is nothing wrong in pushing your child. You have to push your child, but you have to do it the right way. So I hope this has been really helpful. This has been useful. Thank you very much for joining, for staying through late into the night. Eventually we got there despite some technical challenges at the start of the broadcast. Okay, so if there are no questions, no comments, I will say have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful end of the week, and God bless you richly. Bye-bye.